comics. Up there, probably at number one, certainly in the top 2 or 3, is Spider-Man crushed by the weight of the fallen masonry, summoning his inner reserves and realizing that, he can do it. And it's a pure Ditko moment as he pulls himself up.
Even the cover is great. It's just a word balloon-less image of Spider-Man struggling to lift the machinery while the water's dripping down on him.
Steve, and it had nothing to do with me, this was all Steve's idea, when he brought me the pages, he had devoted something like 3 full pages just showing Spider-Man pinned under that heavy weight and trying his best to extricate himself.
Steve Ditko's drawing was completely expressive on its own, and the way that he told it in these very small panels with a very small figure of Spider-Man crushed under this immense weight of machinery, it told you everything that you needed to know.
Because he changes the shapes of the panels, he creates the sense of both forward motion in time and the growing importance of the moment, added to the increase in effort that Spider-Man is making.
There were scenes of him like that and like that. I've got to get it off. I've got to get free for 3 pages.
That sequence made it kind of obvious that it was mainly the visual dynamics that were powering the scene. Yes, Stan Lee was putting balloons in that said, oh, I must try harder, no use, can't do it, and things like that.
Until finally, full page, he lifts the machine off. It's so brilliant a use of the medium. And this is when you bless a creator, because you say, this vindicates comics, because this can only be done in comics.
For most of my life, I've loved and enjoyed the work of Steve Ditko. For many years, I accepted that although he was still alive and well and working, I'd probably never get to read or hear his side of the story, much less meet him. But seeing as we've gone to all this trouble to tell his side of what went on as fairly as possible, I really couldn't give up without trying. So after securing his phone number, I plucked up the courage to visit his office with my trusty sidekick, Neil Gaiman, the boy wonder, and asked for the chance to meet him, face to face. I'm very excited. I'm outside this building here on West 51st Street, and we've established that Steve Ditko does still have an office here. So I'm going to call him now with the number, which I hope is correct. I might have to go and check it and see if he will speak to me. Oh, hello, is that Mr. Ditko? Hello, Mr. Ditko. My name's Jonathan Ross. I'm a huge fan of your work, and I'm over here from London, England. Would it be possible for me to pop by and say hello to you and visit you at your studio? No? I couldn't entice you in any way whatsoever. There's no way I could entice you. Just to grasp you manfully by the hand and thank you for the many years of pleasure. Okay. Steve, I just wanted to say hello and thank you so much. Okay. Take care, Steve. Bye-bye. Just spoke to Steve Ditko. Essentially told me to fuck off. But in the most polite and firm manner I've ever encountered. Okay, shall we go and knock on his door?
Do you want to?
Yeah, well, not with the crew, but let's go up there and just see. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. Me and Neil are now going to go and upset him, but we've got to do it, haven't we, Neil? How's it feel, Neil?
I feel I am Robin to his Batman. I'm Speedy to his Green Arrow. I am Etta Candy to his Wonder Woman. I think we have to do this.
Etta Candy's an unusual reference point. Okay, see you guys. What should we do? Should we meet you down there in 10 minutes? Yeah. Just went and shook Steve Ditko's hand and had a long chat with him.
We had a very long chat with him.
We had a long chat with Steve Ditko, and he talked to us about creating Spider-Man, and I said, can I ask you a big favour, could I have my photograph taken? He went, oh no, wouldn't have his photo taken. He was so sweet, wasn't he?
He was just the loveliest man.
We tried to put our head into his room, have a look in there. But
He was great. He gave us comics.
He gave us, look, he gave us
Comics.
He handed us some of his old comics.
And just
And
absolutely...
he said if he knew people would come knocking, he kind of wished he hadn't put his name on the door.
It was quite magical, actually. It was really, really cool. He answered all of Jonathan's questions, and even a few of mine, and I think that we shouldn't say any more, really.
We can't talk about it. It's a bit like Fight Club, okay?
Yes.
The first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. The first rule of Ditko is we can't share Ditko with you.
Yes.
But we went in search of Steve Ditko, and we found Steve Ditko, and that's all you need to know.
Steve Ditko was an original voice, both in his drawing style and in his writing and his politics. And I would say that today's audiences, if they're going to see things like the Spider-Man films, they should be painfully aware throughout every moment of the film that this is a character that was created by this extraordinary artist, Steve Ditko.
So I went in search of Steve Ditko and I found him. And he was thoroughly decent and nice and charming and patient and didn't want to be filmed or photographed. And although you might feel a little bit let down, I'm afraid that's tough. I'd rather respect the wishes of a reclusive 80-year-old genius than bow to the basic instincts of my beloved audience. If it is any consolation, I can tell you that I phoned Steve, we're on first name terms now, of course, and asked him if I could interview him for this show, and of course, he said no. But in the course of that conversation, I told him just how much his work had meant to me and his thousands of other fans out there, and he seemed genuinely pleased. So it was all worthwhile, he asked. Yes, Steve, I said, it was all worthwhile.
Now, don't forget BBC4 is running Batman in authentic style. 2-parters, 2 nights a week, Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 7:30.